Let's talk about listing your rental on Zillow. And before you waste your time or money, let's talk about whether it's even the right move and how to do it the right way if it is. Hey, I'm Leslie, and after leasing hundreds of units, I've seen what works, what doesn't, and what actually helps landlords get the results. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the pros, the cons, and the exact steps on how to list your property just like a pro in Zillow. So here's what we're covering today. When does Zillow make sense? What's hurting your lead results? And my step-by-step process for listings that attract high quality leads. So let's start with the upside. Zillow gets over 204 million monthly visitors. It is the #1 platform to search for rental listings. It's really user friendly for first-time landlords or even landlords that aren't very tech savvy. And the lead quality is generally better than other sites like Facebook or Craigslist. We just recently listed a long-term rental on Zillow in a very saturated market, and within 48 hours, we had over 45 high-quality leads. And why did I get those results? Because I did these 3 things right. I used high-quality photos, I had a detailed listing description, and I priced the property right. Plus, a bonus is I paid for Zillow Premium. So let's talk about how to actually list your property on Zillow the right way. So step number 1 is you're going to go to zillow.com/rental manager, and then you're going to click Get Started at the button right here, and you'll go through the steps to create your profile. Once you're in your rental manager, you're going to add a property. So you'll add your rental property right here by putting in the address and then the property type and the unit number, and then you would check this box if you were renting out an individual room. Then you would click Create Listing. So then once you have your property address in, it's going to take you through all of their prompts. It's really user-friendly and very straightforward. So you just want to make sure all of the details are correct. So you'd have the property address in there. You don't want to hide the property address because potential applicants are going to drive by. You want to have the square footage, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and then you want a really detailed listing description. You'll make sure that you have your monthly rent in there. You could put in a special offer if you wanted to do that, the security deposit, and then you would put in all of your high quality photos. And when I say upload high quality photos, I don't mean this. This is definitely not a high quality photo. Just a few items to point out is this window's open. There's paint buckets in the window. There's paint over here. This is all not right. And then the house numbers are all wore off. Here's another bad photo example. There aren't even light bulbs in the light fixture. There's a toothbrush on the counter. And as you can see, it doesn't fit the right sizing for Zillow. So you need to make sure that you're fitting the right sizing for the pictures to display properly. Here's another bad example of another property where you can see the pieces of the fridge are sitting out. There's stuff on the counter, the toilet seat is up, and it's just a picture of the floor. And they want almost $6,000 a month for this property. Real quick, if you're finding this information helpful, you'll love this. I put together a free landlord training that shows you how to get leasing right so that managing your property becomes easy. Because when you get the leasing portion right, you attract better tenants, you cut down vacancy, and you set clear expectations from day 1, making the rest of the management process way more straightforward. You can register using the link below in the description. It's totally free and it's packed with value whether you're listing your first property or your 5th rental property. Now let's jump back into the steps. So here's just an example of the pictures that we have for one of our listings. These are professional, well-lit photos, and these did not cost very much to get done. And once you get them done, you can just continue to reuse them every time you have a vacancy. Once you've uploaded your photos, then you'll go through and you'll update all the property amenities down here. And then you can put in your screening criteria and your pets. If there are any additional costs, you can put all of that in. You want to be as detailed as possible. And then always put in your lease terms in really easy to read bullet pointed format. You'll put in your renter's insurance requirement and the lease requirement. Go ahead and select all of those days, unless there is for sure one day that you could never show the property, so the property appears as available as possible. Then the last step would be to check the box if you want Zillow's online applications. You can put yes or no on there, and then you would click Publish the listing. And once you click Publish, it will pop up the window to do Zillow Paid Premium, which I totally recommend. It is usually $29.99, and that covers you for 90 days. And sometimes they change the price around. So as of right now, it's $29.99 for 90 days. properties. Once you're done putting all of your listing details in and you have it active, always make sure to preview your listing both on the computer and on a mobile device. Sometimes when you save details inside of Zillow, it doesn't fully save everything for whatever reason. So wait maybe an hour or two, go in, preview your listing, and make sure that all of your details are correct, all of your photos are in the right placements and the right arrangement that you want, and that everything is showing accurately. Now, quick bonus on the Zillow 3D tour, you do have to get the Zillow 3D home app and actually do that tour. And so you'll want to get the app on your phone, and then you can go to the property and you can create that 3D tour. There are also these external sites. If you have a tour done for the property that is through one of these platforms, then you could put the link to the tour in there. And another bonus tip is Casa. This is one of our favorite tools to use for floor plans. You can create a floor plan for your listing for free using the Casa app. As of right now, it's free. That could change, of course, but you can download that app, and when you're at your property, actually create a floor plan. And so you can see we have a floor plan for this listing that we did with Casa. At the end, you'll publish your listing, and then I always recommend you pay for premium placement, especially if you're in a saturated rental market. Zillow wants to keep you inside of their platform as much as possible. So utilizing the tools within their platform is going to help push your listing to the top. So while staying in the Zillow platform and using the Zillow tech to help get your listing pushed to the top, this kind of runs into some of the negatives of having your property on Zillow. And listing the property on Zillow itself is not a con. I absolutely recommend it. However, the tools inside of the platform, like the screening and application tools, are definitely a con. They are very limited. It's very basic. It's not customizable to your property, and it's not as detailed as some other systems that you can screen potential tenants through. However, Zillow, of course, wants to keep you inside of their environment. So if you do enable applications, you are going to get more contacts. That is up to you, but I do not recommend the Zillow screening tools. They're very basic and not as thorough as some other sites. The other con to listing your property on Zillow is that it's a very saturated platform. Like I mentioned before, it's the #1 platform for searching for rental properties. So it's very easy to get buried. And if you're not using tools that Zillow has, like either paid premium, which I definitely recommend, or even just the 3D tour, then your property can get buried, because the more you stay inside of Zillow's world, the higher they're going to push you to the top of the pile. And again, the third con is basically the same thing. Zillow is going to favor those listings that are using all the tools inside of their platform. So if you want to rank higher, you need to use their tech and pay for premium. So quick recap, that is a step-by-step of how to list your rental property on Zillow. Step number 1, you're going to go to Zillow Rental Manager and create your free account. Then enter the property information and your lease terms. You want to write a clear, strong listing description, upload high quality photos. And then step number 5, you'll either turn on their screening tools and or pay for Zillow paid premium. Then you'll publish your listing and you'll be on your way. And some last few bonus tips is making sure that you stand out is number 1, of course, paying for Zillow paid premium. That will push you to the top of the pile. Then you want to use the Zillow 3D tours. And then some other tips is write your listing description as if you're talking to your ideal tenant, of course, while remaining fair housing compliant. And then always include key details and lease terms like the deposit amount, your pet policy, and any other terms you want to notate up front. So ultimately, should you list your property on Zillow? 100% yes. If it's a long-term rental or even a furnished rental in a busy market, yes, but it only works to your advantage when your listing is done right. So if you like this video, go ahead and click subscribe to stay up to date on the latest landlord videos. And you can also grab my free training in the description below. And as always, happy landlording.